Ever wonder if you're getting the whole story about healthcare news? Ever ponder why people are getting sicker while drug companies are making billions? Do you wish you could trust the food and water you're putting into your body and the air and the land you depend upon? You've come to the right place. The United States Health Consortium TV show is a web-based worldwide broadcast that brings you real people with real news that matters. We are a team of reporters, scientists, doctors, and families. We aim to educate and advocate for clean air, water, food, medicine, health, and clean living. Come along on our journey to create a better world.
Tune in to TLBTV.com/Who's Calling the Shots to hear the entire series. Join us Wednesdays at 8 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Central, and 11 a.m. Eastern. Episodes also available at ushealthconsortium.org.
Hi, welcome to the United States Health Consortium TV show. Today we have a special guest, Summer Boger, and I'll be your host. My name is Eileen. I'd like to introduce Summer and tell you a little bit about her and what she's going to be covering. Summer has spent thousands of hours studying the core foundations of health since her early teens, and she graduated from Mueller College of Holistic Studies in both their Eastern and Western programs, and has been in private practice since 1999. She studied at the Mueller College of Holistic Studies with a vision of working with prenatal and postnatal mothers. She married in 2000 and has 2 children. And she's an expert in her field of cellular health and detoxification. She's always been passionate about getting to the root cause of any disease or problem. And this is how she started her wellness center, offering cellular wellness therapies that address disease at the core within the cell, clearing both emotional and environmental factors. Through her experiences with her families, she's also seen the need for public outreach, educating families about their individual rights and how they can protect them. Summer has been recognized twice by Senator Joel Anderson for her outstanding service and unyielding dedication to educating the public about important issues that affect overall health and well-being of families and students in San Diego. I'd like to introduce you to Summer and begin our conversation with toxicity. Summer, can you tell us, what is toxicity?
Well, it's a very deep question, and I'm very glad that you asked, as it's a very important question for the time and day that we live in. And toxicity is both environmental and genetic factors. We're exposed to toxins all the time, and in fact, it's said now that every baby is born with at least 250 different known toxins in them, just passed on through the mother. So there's no avoiding toxins, from the carpet that we use, or the ceiling, or the pipes that we're using in our house, or the places that we go on the street, the tires and the chemicals from different pesticides and sprays in the airs. There's just no way to get away from it. So those things accumulate in our body because they're not natural. Our body doesn't know how to get rid of them. So since our body doesn't know what it is, it says, okay, well, this petrochemical, I don't really know what to do with it. So maybe I'll just store it maybe we'll need it later. And then so those things get stored in our fat cells and in our liver cells. And that's how they accumulate over time as biotoxins in our body that are not being properly eliminated. And then we end up in a toxic mess and in need of solutions. So that's what I'm hopeful to help kind of bring to light and help solve today.
Okay, thank you. I'm sure our listeners are going to be very interested in this topic. Why is it important to detoxify?
It's important to detoxify because, like I said, those things get trapped in our cells. And what I really focus on is cellular health. And what that means is that these toxins are so small that they actually get into like the molecular level of our cells. And so what happens is once those things get into the cells, it's really hard to get them out. So let's say you have, either lead or mercury or aluminum, or you've been diagnosed with something really heavy like Lyme disease, then those things are a problem at a cellular level. What happens is those toxins, when they get inside of the cell, it stops that whole methylation cycle that, people talk a lot, about MTHFR mutations and methylation. And so if you know what that is, it's like a domino effect that when those toxins enter the cell, it starts creating inflammation in the cell. Then our bodies aren't making ATP or energy in the cells. And the outside of the cell starts to become rigid. And when the outside of the cell becomes rigid, the hormones and the nutrients that are supposed to lock onto the cell or come into the cell and do different tasks and jobs, that gets really inefficient and slowed down. And the more rigid the outside of the cell is with inflammation, or the more inflammation you have inside of the cell from these toxins, then the less is going out of the cell as well. So then we have a problem absorbing nutrition, and then we have a problem detoxifying, and that puts us in a really stuck place.
So it sounds like some people have a propensity based on their individual makeup to not be able to detoxify the cell easily, as others might be able to detoxify easier, so they have less inflammation. Is that what I hear you saying?
Yeah, so like people who know that they have the MTHFR markers, let's say, they know that they have a harder time detoxifying. Their bodies just don't detoxify as easily as someone else's. So what I do is I try to work on a cellular level to make the body have less inflammation and more efficiency with being able to detoxify properly and to absorb nutrition properly, so that overall we're getting better cellular health, which is going to lead to better health on every level.
That makes a lot of sense. And that's not a conversation that's often spoken about in health, is it?
No, it's not. Like everything, allopathically is really focused around addressing the symptom of the disease, the diagnosis of the disease, and really band-aiding the problem so that the symptoms disappear, where we're really going after the root source of the problem. And that's where, I really dove into, as I was like, okay, well, what's the root problem of the toxicity, or what's the root problem of cancer and disease? And that's what led me down to a cellular level. So that's what I really focus on.
It sounds like a great place to be. And that's part of the terrain concept of cleaning the body out so that it focuses on being able to function better. And like you said, with the ATP, able to use the energy in the cell to do what the cells are supposed to do.
Yeah, and a lot of us know, nutrition's important. We talk a lot about gut health and the importance of restoring gut health. And this is just taking it to another level, which I think is deeper and is equally, if not more, valuable. But they all work together. It's a symbiotic relationship.
Okay. So who is able to detoxify? Can anybody do it?
That's a great question. So somebody that is ready to detoxify, it's good. Like I take them through a 3-step process. We kind of do a preparation phase first, then we kind of work on the toxins in the body, and then we go to the toxins that are in the brain. And so, everybody is at a different place. So I really like to assess people to find out where they are. So if you're, still eating at McDonald's and Jack in the Box every day, then I probably would have you start differently than someone who's like, yes, I've already been drinking juices and taking coffee enemas, and I'm so ready. Or I would treat, an elderly person versus a mother versus somebody that works all day versus somebody that stays at home differently. I'm going to treat an infant or a child differently. But, basically we're all exposed to toxins. And so we all need to be doing detoxification work. It's just a matter of finding what's right for you for where you're ready to go. So you'll see here that everybody, we all get exposed to toxins, and the amount of toxins that we are exposed to just kind of goes up, up, and up. And eventually our bucket just spills over, and our body can't process or take any more accumulation of toxins. And so, people will not feel sick, but they'll have toxins and they'll be going just fine. And they'll be like, yeah, well, I'm an athlete and I'm fine. Or they'll be like, I eat Taco Bell and drink beer every day and I'm fine. And so everybody, deals with toxins differently. And so, but one day they hit that place where all of a sudden they just crash because they've not been doing regular detoxification work. So some people are in emergency situations and other people are in maintenance situations. So I just want to address and acknowledge where each individual is at and then work from there.
So if the detoxification is cleaning out the cells of different people at different stages of health, what kinds of benefits might they find once they are detoxified or cleared, however it is you call it?
Yeah, so really what I found is that toxins cause inflammation of the cell. So, that might look like cancer, it might look like arthritis, or it might look like an autoimmune disorder. But really, whether you've been exposed to mold, or you've been exposed to a heavy metal, or you've been exposed to a virus or a bacteria or something along those lines that has stopped you in your tracks or caused things to derail, or you don't know where it started, a lot of the symptoms I found really kind of come down to the same things. It might be foggy brain, lack of cognitive ability, irritability, lack of sleep, emotional, anxious, all of these things, feeling forgetful or achy joints or intestinal discomforts. A lot of those things, no matter what your diagnosis is, seem to kind of go hand in hand. And you can say, oh, well, I recognize that symptom as a symptom of toxicity, which then is expressing itself in different ways, whether it's, diabetes or heart problems or brain issues. It's interesting how, you can go down the list and they mimic each other.
And so many people are concerned about the toxic ingredients that are in vaccinations today. And I know our audience is very concerned about environmental toxins, toxins in our water, our air, and particularly with the vaccination ingredients. It looks like any type of a toxin is going to be able to be cleared out through detoxification and at least lower the levels. Can you tell us how this would work with vaccination?
Yeah. So I'm sure that right now there's more and more information coming out about how to deal with toxins specifically from vaccination. I mean, all you have to do is look at the ingredient list of the vaccines and you see, oh my gosh, there are so many toxins in there that I'm being exposed to. What's the best way to detox from mercury or vaccination, let's say? Well, the best thing would be to obviously not be exposed to those things. But we're exposed to them through the amalgam in our teeth or through the vaccines that we've had in the past. So if you've had amalgam fillings, it's great to get them out, yes, in order to start a detoxification process. And I'm going to link that to how it's similar for a vaccine too. So let's say that you already have amalgam fillings, and then you know that you're going to go to the dentist and have them removed. Then it's nice to be on a detox program already going in to get them removed. That way your body's ready to start purging whatever you're exposed to. Now, you would hope that putting in the rubber dam and having the suction would prevent the vapors from the amalgam filling affecting you. But, you know, it's nice to be using a detoxification program where any little thing that comes, your body or the detoxification program that you're choosing would then grab on to those toxins and pull them out of the body before they get stuck in the body. So that would be the criteria for the vaccines too, is that, you know, the sooner you catch what it is before it gets time to be processed and then tucked away somewhere in the body, the better. So let's say that you feel like you're backed up against a wall and you don't know what to do, you except for take the vaccine that you need, or that they're requiring or mandating, or, you know, maybe you and a spouse are on different pages about that, or someone in your family are on different pages about that, and you feel like it's the thing that needs to happen for your situation, then I would really recommend having a detox protocol like the one that I'm offering available to support you through that process. But honestly, I mean, it's best not to get exposed to amalgam fillings, right? It's probably best not to get exposed to a vaccine if you don't think that it's necessary, or you don't have to. So that would be my answer there. And then the longer those things sit in your mouth or in your body, right, the more deterioration is happening. Let's say like when you mix mercury and aluminum together, that's really terrible. The two together just create like an explosion almost of neurodegeneration. The two just kind of really eat up the nervous system. So obviously the sooner you could get rid of the mercury and aluminum together out of the body, or the sooner you could prevent it, the less damage it's going to cause. Once you have the damage, let's say for a long time, or a lot of accumulation, then I can't say that, you know, there's going to be a magic pill that all of a sudden is going to make it better. Like, neurological damage is neurological damage. But the good news is that there are things that you can do to rehabilitate the body. It's just not going to be an instant gratification kind of thing. You got to work on it a little bit longer to really see the results that you're looking for, but it's not that you won't get results. So it just depends on where you are in the process, how, you know, what kind of benefits you're going to see right away. But the idea is that when you do the things that I have up here for you to see right now, which is removing the source of the problem, let's say it's a heavy metal, right, or a mold, you remove the source of the problem, then you're we're feeding and creating the proper nutrition on a supplement level, on a food level, to help restore the body's natural balance, and we're getting rid of inflammation in the body, and we're nourishing the body. And then that's going to bring up your energy level. That's going to bring up your cognitive ability. That's going to bring up the function of your whole immune system and your whole endocrine system. And so as those things begin to work and we begin to build and get better, so it's like when you start an exercise routine, let's say, or something, right? Like, you can only run or walk or jog so far, but then those things you get more efficient, and then you can do better and you can go longer. So it's kind of like that. And then you'll have that rehabilitation of the methylation process and your cycles, and you'll notice that things fall into balance, and then you're feeling energetic, you're feeling healthy, you're feeling happy, you're feeling rested. All those things start to fall into line.
That sounds wonderful. So tell us, what is it that you do in order to detoxify?
Yeah, so I work with a couple of different things, but mainly I have a 90-day or a 3-month protocol that I do, and I use a wonderful product. It's called Detox. It's a clinoptilolite, if anybody's heard of that before. It's like a volcanic mineral. And the special thing about the Detox particularly is that it is a soluble solution. It's not a granulated fine powder, which is how most people who have heard of zeolites or clinoptilolites before. It's not a nanoparticle granulated powder that then is put in water that then you would use that looks like what I'm offering. But what I'm offering is actually at a molecular level. So it's measured at a Dalton molecular weight. And then that is a sublingual chelation that goes directly under the tongue. It's just a couple drops under the tongue. Tastes basically like water, and it's super effective and it's super safe. So for as far as other chelations go, it's not an IV in your arm. It's something that you can give to a small child, or you can take for an adult or for an elderly person, and it starts to clean out the toxins. Now, I wouldn't give you just the drops without also a whole 90-day protocol that really helps you to get the most out of the drops by really supporting the body through the whole detoxification process. So the Detox is the chelator that binds to the heavy metals, to the mold, and to even other co-infections, and pulls them out of the body. And the great thing about it is that it can reach not only into the organs and the cellular system of the body, but it also can reach into the brain. And so that's what really makes it exciting for those toxins that do make it into our brain and are causing problems there. And so I'm dealing with two things that most people are not dealing with in a normal detoxification or even a chelation. And that's getting to the cellular level and inside the cells, and getting to the brain and getting the toxins out of that as well.
Well, that sounds like a great, well-rounded program. Using the zeolite in a sublingual is certainly a lot easier to administer than powders and drinks and the mess and it's not easy to do if you travel or go somewhere. So that looks like a really nice, easy to do protocol. Is there any other part of it that you want to share with us in regards to how that fits into your program?
Yeah, so I'm really working with people on several levels. So I'm also really providing a way for you to do a 90-day meal plan as well. So we're just doing 3 exchanges. We're taking grains, sugars, and fats, and really focusing on eliminating grains, eliminating sugars, and really bringing out, getting rid of the toxic fats that we would normally eat, like the deep fried things or the processed things that then have the hydrogenated fats in it. And those are the fats that make you sick. And the fats that we're going to be introducing are nourishing fats, because if you think about it, our brain and every cell in our body and every nerve in our body is all made with fats and lipids. So fats are extremely valuable and important to our body, and they do not make us fat. Actually, we burn them as fuel much more efficiently than we do sugars and carbohydrates. So, I just gently guide you through that, and depending on how far you want to take it or what illness or disease you might be dealing with, we teach other ancient healing strategies too. And the idea is that the epigenetics that we talk about as being such an important factor in what turns on and off genes that create disease or create health, we're going to the DNA level of the body and helping the body to get restored. so that you're not only helping yourself, but potentially, helping future generations if we're helping a child or someone who still would like to conceive. And it's the most amazing and powerful thing that I know about, is being able to change your genes to be healthy again, which is something that until recent years we did not even know we could do, right? We were always like, oh, it's just your genetic predisposition, or because your grandparents had heart conditions or kidney conditions or cancer, that means you're most likely going to get it. And that's not true. The more we find out about toxins and the role that they play in our bodies and in the markers of our genes, the more we're finding out that can be changed for better or for worse. And so it's really exciting to be on the side of being able to change things for the better.
Well, it looks like you've got a very well-rounded protocol. And can you tell us a little bit about just an overview of what your 3-month protocol includes?
Yes. So, of course, you get me personally to help assist you all along the way. You're getting the Cyto Detox drops. You're getting a box that basically is the same size as a tissue box, and then you just pull off like you would, to pull out one tissue at a time. You pull off the little perforation on the outside, and you pull out one packet at a time, and you're taking one packet of supplements either in the morning or the evening to just help boost your body's ability to detox properly and to be properly nourished through the whole thing, to feel supported. Then you're also getting a 90-day meal plan. You get an online training, basically, with 8 hours of video that helps you to know what good exercises really help with detoxification. Also, really focusing on our emotional well-being and the important role that also plays in being able to detoxify our bodies, our emotions, our nervous system, how we react and respond to things, is a very important part of detoxification. Then you also get 24 articles that you can read, the ones that specifically would be most personal to you. You can focus in on those. So if it's learning more about GMOs, or what are the dangers or benefits of detoxification, what are heavy metals doing inside of my body, or what are the benefits of getting rid of them. There's all sorts of articles around those kinds of subjects that you would then have access to. So you get a porthole of online training as well as me. There's a urine test that I do that's 50 times more accurate than blood. So I can send that to you, and then that tells you where your cellular inflammation is when we begin and when we end a protocol. And we reassess by using a questionnaire to see where you're at on the toxic level. Through a questionnaire, it kind of gives us a marker of where we begin and where we end. And then also there's advanced strategies for those that want to take their diet further. There's a great strategy about a ketogenic diet and the importance that also plays in detoxification and getting well. So all of that is available to you through this wonderful online protocol and support protocol that I've put together.
Wow, Summer, I love that you have pre-packaged supplements. To have all those bottles over the counter is just kind of a big headache, and you're not sure if you took one. So the idea that you've got this pull with everything you need to nourish your body while you go through a detoxification program is terrific, because many people have tried detoxification and failed because they aren't getting the nourishing. They're pulling, but they're not replenishing. So this looks terrific. It's
difficult and confusing sometimes, right? People tell you, like, get cilantro and get bentonite clay, and like you said, then you have 6, 12 15 different things sitting around on your counter, and you're like, okay, well, where do I start and what should I do again? And then you're probably going to CVS or whatever, and you get the little container so that you can put all of your supplements in each container, and then, but oh, it's only for one day. So then it's like, okay, well, was I supposed to take this in the morning or at night? I don't know, right?
Yeah. Makes it really easy. I love it.
And it's time consuming to learn how to detox or what the right things are to do. So if we can make it simple for you so that it's easy to know where to begin and it's easy to follow along. And I think the one most important thing is to feel like you're not overwhelmed and that you can comply to a protocol, right? Because what good is a protocol or a detoxification strategy if it doesn't feel doable for you? So that's one thing I really focus on, is making it doable for you.
And it sounds like with your pointed exercises that are to encourage the body to release the toxins is really important.
Yeah, it's so important that we have a good metabolism, because that's, plays into the whole way of how we burn up fuel in our bodies or how we process or detoxify. So it's super important to know what we can do and how we can make it enjoyable, or how we can fit it into our busy schedule. All those things are so important. So like I said, it's so important that I find a way, or we find a way to make it as doable as possible for you, so that you're enjoying the process as much as possible, and you're feeling the benefits and seeing the benefits, and that you're not feeling overwhelmed or exasperated or frustrated through the process of detoxification.
One of the interesting areas that I haven't seen in many detoxification programs is the emotional detox training. That is often overlooked, and you've got that in your protocol. That's terrific.
Yeah, and because I'm a holistic health practitioner, there's some testing that I do, and I can definitely read tests. But a lot of people also ask, about testing more than just testing my information. I want to know exactly where my thyroid is. I want to know exactly where my lead levels are. And so I don't usually focus on doing those things. If you do them and bring them to me, that's great. But that is part of why I can offer the protocol that I do offer at such a low price. It's valued at almost $3,000. And there are not a lot of people who aren't doctors. Like, I'm a holistic health practitioner. So as a health practitioner, I'm able to offer the same protocol and the same coaching to you without the doctor price of $3,000. So you get me and you get the protocol and all of the wonderful materials and education and online support without the doctor price. So that's nice as well. Yeah. And then I really don't encourage people to go out and to get a heavy metal test, because the chelator that you would take to make the heavy metals go into the urine so that you can have a result that you read, that can be dangerous, because then those heavy metals are floating around inside of your body, and they can get then lodged or stuck in another place, which could be dangerous. And I know when I did a urine chelator a long time ago, my whole body went into flu and aches, and I just knew that those heavy metals were like spreading all throughout my body, and it was really painful and brought back up the whole resurgence of the exposure. And so I always like to caution people to be careful about doing those kinds of tests too. To me, it's much more important that you are seeing the results than having a fact list sheet of what your urine showed before and after for heavy metals, because heavy metal chelation can be dangerous if it's not done properly.
That's good information to have. Would you say that Well, can you give us an example? You've worked with a lot of families over the years. Can you tell us some of the results that maybe one of your families has experienced from before they started, the kinds of issues they were having, and then what kind of results they had at the end?
Yes. So I've had, obviously a wide range of different kinds of people. So for a man that's had anxiety his entire life and had a lot of amalgam, a lot of different exposures throughout his life, he went through the protocol and he said that for the first time in his life, he doesn't have anxiety. He was able to sleep through the night. Just, huge things for him. And I'm sure that some of you can relate to that. Or a woman whose cycles and emotions have been all over the place and wasn't sure if it was early premenopause or what it was that she was going through, if she had like fibroids or, something else going on that the doctors just weren't picking up. Sometimes hormonal issues can be a really hard one to deal with. And then having her come back to me and say, oh my gosh, my cycle was normal for the first time ever. And, and my emotions are calmed down and I'm not crying like half of the month. And I'm not depressed the whole month. Just having those kinds of changes was huge. And then somebody with rheumatoid arthritis, a teenager with rheumatoid arthritis, just being able to say that my pain level is greatly reduced. When I started seeing you, I was a 7 or an 8 most days, and now I'm like a 2 or a 3. Wow. So, yeah, it's a process, right? Like you're not going to get better instantly on something that's like a chronic problem, but just you can see marked improvement. And so that was huge. And then with autism, so many people, that just the child was, ballistic, huge intestinal issues, right? A very long list of different things going on, and then seeing them be able to cognitively express themselves in a way that they weren't able to before, seeing them go from a very agitated, triggered place to come to a more calm place where they're having no episodes of self-injury or are having very little outbursts compared to where they started. A lot of changes like that are just so rewarding for the family and the person who's going through the experience. It's really challenging and rewarding for me, obviously, to be able to see that they've gotten results and are doing much better than when they came and I first met them. So yeah, it's so great. Really, really great.
That is absolutely wonderful. Those are great results. And to know that detoxification in a matter of months, you could have marked results. And it's something that it sounds like you could do ongoing to get even greater results as we get more and more toxins loaded into our systems through our environment and our choices.
Yeah. And so I wish I could say, you just press the flush button and we're immediately clean of all environmental toxins. But, our toxic levels are different. And so some people have a very heavy load bucket and some people have a very light load. And so you just kind of have to work with where you're at and just keep going. Okay, well, I saw the results that I wanted within 3 months, and some people will. And then you have tons of free education through the protocol. So, you can take that and keep going, or you can go to a maintenance level, or we can keep working with more detoxification. It just depends on where you personally are at. Everybody's at a different place.
Well, thank you, Summer. This is a beautiful program that you've put together that I know a lot of our listeners are going to want to take advantage of. And we want to thank you for being an affiliate with the United States Health Consortium, so that the purchases that our viewers make of your program and your protocol also lead back to a donation for the U.S. Health Consortium. So thank you for that. A portion of everyone's purchase will go towards that. And at the bottom of the video on our page, where our article is, you'll see her monthly specials that she's going to offer. And Summer is just a delight to work with, as you can see. And we're so excited to have her as our detoxification representative here at the USHC. Thank you so much for joining us, Summer.
Yeah, I love all of the great work that you guys are doing. Just amazing people are coming out, and we're just pulling together and creating an umbrella of protection for parents and families and health freedom. And it's a really great thing that has been very needed, and so glad to see how you guys are linking arms with so many other great people to create the United States Health Consortium.
Thank you. Thank you. We are so appreciative for you being on our show, representing products and services of some of the top leaders in the fields that we'll be offering and sharing with you. And thank you for being with us, and we look forward to having you join us again sometime.
Yeah, definitely. Would love to come back.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Summer.
You're so welcome. Take care.